It looks like they're going to be trying to choose their last one. We have Beta with a lineup ready. RGN's actually going to be moving even more. I think they're just messing around at this point. We have for RGN, a lineup is going to be double E100, a mouse, an E4, an IS7, double IS7 so far, and a Vickers Light. Pretty interesting lineup just because I don't really see a lot of IS7s, and I don't really see E4s, even though I feel like E4 is a pretty good tank. E100 is pretty much the safer choice because of how much armor and HP it has, especially in this meta. Now we also have Beta, we have two 113s, two IS4s, two STBs, and a single 57. Now, a lot of teams are averse to the idea of a single clipper, but as I have mentioned before, I don't think that's a bad idea. So we're going to be kicking it off on this first game, RGN versus Beta, Mayan Ruins. Let's see who can pull off the first win in this best of 3 series. We'll be starting on board with the Zeta. And 07's in the chat. First thing I'm going to want to see is where the Vickers is going to be playing, because the Vickers having the mobility on this team is going to be pivotal to see where he spots and what information he gets. Of course, for the Beta, we have two STBs, and they're most likely... Fantasy is going to get spotted, most likely get spotted by the Vickers as he crosses, but both STBs are going towards the C side. It's going to be very difficult for his Royal Fatness to make any plays on that side. Now, we also see a lot of tanks coming into this B area. It looks like this area up here is going to be heavily contested, but we have double IS7s from RGN pushing straight into the B cap. The whole team of RGN looking to focus more on the A, B side. You have Hated Fate spotted in the E4 there. So now Beta has an idea of where the tank destroyer is. They're going to have to make some rotations now that they are down 2 caps to none, or to 1, I believe. Or, my mistake. ID RXP is spotted, both IS7s from RGN spotted, and the E4 as well, but Beta know that they have more tanks in that A cap. Beta are going to be trying to rotate with their STVs onto the flank and see if they can get some shots in and spots. Afro Panda going to take a shot from the side, STB of Fantasy pushing him back, and now Beta can afford to make some more plays here. Hated Fate spotted in the E4, puts a big shot into Striker. Gonna have to back off now, or else the STBs might be able to punish. TJF Blue now going to be reinforcing this spawn area. Can't be shook in that mouse as well. RGN have a really defensive lineup here, being able to defend the A cap. Beta is going to be making a move onto the B cap though. The IS7's a little bit isolated from the rest of the team, but they do have support from the TDs. Wow, Hated Fate puts a shot into the IS4, but gets absolutely hammered for it. Edgerack still feeling the pain though. Now down to a one-shot, goes down to a lot of gunfire. Fatness in that Vickers now will be able to focus on putting the DPM into the game. A huge shot from Zeta coming into the 113. Flawless victory, now getting focused out. But we have ID RXP coming onto the B cap, slowing the caps down for RGN. RGN putting Hated into the back there. Fantasy now getting intercepted by the mouse. The other STB Striker going to help the brawl on B. Beta are losing a lot of HP here, and they don't have positions here. Now stuck on the B area with no escape. The 57 is actually caught pinned here. Very good move by whichever IS7 that was. Striker putting in some shots, trying to clutch the win. TJ Blue looking to put an HE shell into the back, able to do it. Putting him out of the game. Danger still stuck. Finally manages to get a little bit out, but not before Fatness puts him down. And now just IDRXP versus a lot of healthy rain tanks. Going to get... Oh, I thought the mouse is going to sit on him. Now Zeta is going to be able to do so. IDRXP going to be the last tank going down. RGN winning on caps and on kills. pretty quick game there. Now we have going to be going into the second game here. Just looking at the stream, Tankinator says, "Hi, 5 minutes in the future, fishy." A very big brain there. I like that. Quantum Optics. It looked like I was gonna miss the match, but I don't really put up streams early. I probably should in the future, but that's just not how I do it. Because I haven't really figured that out yet. I'm kind of a boomer with this OBS streaming software. But I'll figure it out in the future so people don't get scared off by that. So that's on me. Now, second match, Mayan Ruins again. Spawns are going to be swapped. Afro Panda, Hated Fate, Nate the Great, all taking E5s. Another E5 from TJF Blues. That's 4 E5s, an IS4 of Vickers, and a T22 on Rain. We have, for beta, 3 IS4s, 2 Mice, a Sheridan, and a Hori. Hori, a very popular tank destroyer for this meta, just because of how much pen it has as well as the DPM. The mobility is also pretty decent, but I wouldn't say the armor is that great. It can get some clutch bounces, but overall, not the best armor. For a tank destroyer, it's pretty good though. But the profile is absolutely massive, and that's one of the drawbacks that I don't really like about it. Especially in this meta, it's really easy to focus out, and you're going to be losing out on the DPM that you thought you were going to have if it gets focused out. Now, for E5s from RGN, if they use the speed boost to get into position, they could have some very good map control in the beginning. I believe they're going to be playing into that B, but like behind the B area. We have also the 3 Musketeers here, TJF Blue, Hated Fate, and his Royal Fatness. Oh wow, so that's actually triple Vickers and quad E5s. Hadn't noticed that they'd swapped very quickly, so there's definitely 3 Musketeers there. Zero Bite might take a lot of hits there, but he's not going to be going into that area. Instead, just pulls out immediately. Very good play. Still gets nailed for it though. Can't be shook actually in a position to reset B, just because RGN making the astute observation that they have a lot of tanks that can go A, and losing B could be extremely detrimental to their success for winning, or success probability. Zero Bite in the Sheridan, not having a lot of options because it's cut off by the triple Vickers on the field of RGN. We have Edrak in the mouse. He's going to be going into the B cap anyways. Actually might just be pushing across to try to get some shots on Can't Be Shook. Can't Be Shook actually going to be in a tight position here because this IS4s are going to be able to crossfire him with the mouse. Can't Be Shook in a really tough spot now. Has to get some support from RGN, the rest of the RGN team, but they're not getting enough shots in. Zero Bite in the Sheridan, taking another hit, but it is, at the end of the day, just a Sheridan when you have 3 Vickers on the field. The Vickers now coming in, going to be pushing onto the IDRXP, but if Hated crosses, he's going to get nailed by a lot of tanks. Hori of Fantasy now spotted. We have Hated Fate holding that middle area. Fatness and TJ Blue going to be pushing across towards A to cut off the cap points. A very good use of the mobility there. We have these E5s though, taking a lot of hits. Afro Panda looks like he's on fire, burning out with that speed boost, and now Beta are going to be trying to push their advantage. Hated Fate getting nailed there, but gets shot by Strika and gets rammed as well. Zero Bite maybe able to put the kill shot into him. Hated it pushed into a really tough position there. Fadu and Nate the Great now looking pretty isolated here. RGN look like they don't have what it takes to win at this point. Zero Bite going down to Fatness and TJ Blue in the middle, but they have the caps though, but they're not going to be able to do a lot to cut down this beta team. Strika going to be trying to reset the cap, misses both of them there. Fatness and TJF Blue need to get out of there, but they're definitely not going to get out before taking a lot of hits. Strika taking out the mobility. Fatness might be able to pick up the whole re here. Able to do so. Fadu is still alive. I have no idea how. Ooh. If he had been able to put another shot in, Flawless Victory might have been dead. Fatness now 1 tank versus 4. Canny Colo here. Takes a huge shell from the mouse. Max roll. The mouse of danger is going to be making his way towards the A cap. B has already been neutralized. Fatness going to be trying to win this on cap. But it's not going to be easy for him because they've sent Strika to intercept him. Strika putting in a good shot. Not getting the track in though. Fatness needs to survive a little bit longer, but Flawless has the shot if he crosses here. Strika missing a shot. Flawless is going to pick him up here. Most likely gets a clutch shot into him. Fatness very close to winning on points, but at that point they just Beta had 2 tanks on each cap. So RGN's strategy not working well enough in their favor. The E5's not able to dish out enough damage where needed. So they had pretty good information as well as map control, but they weren't able to hold it against the slew of heavy tanks that Beta had. So Beta able to put a win onto their name, and now it's 1-1 RGN versus Beta. A little bit of an upset there, but dropped games do happen. RGN have the chance to redeem themselves if they win Vineyards here, the tiebreaker. Beta taking 2 215Bs, an E5, an SCB, a Sheridan, a Hori, and an IS4. A very mixed lineup here, but that could signify some pretty interesting strategy as they have a diverse set of tanks that can play different roles, and I assume that they're going to be taking them to interesting positions. Actually going to be taking double E5s in place of a Hori and an E5. RGN are going to be sticking to 3 IS4s, 2 E100s, a Vickers Light, and a WZ-113. So for Vineyards, of course, it's a 3 cap map. Beta might be playing towards the A cap, especially with the mobility that they have over RGN. RGN have two E100s. They might possibly be taking them down, although they might do sort of a hold, keeping them near their spawn to punish anything going into B. But again, we'll just have to see what sort of strategy they have here. I'm going to be going on to the Sheridan to see where he's going to be going early. Looks like he's just going to be getting onto the B cap. His Royal Fatness in the Vickers going to be getting onto the A cap. Nothing is going to be able to reset either B or A from the positions that they're in, unless those E100s are able to blind fire the Sheridan here. Not able to do so, and they're not even going to be shooting that way. Edrak going to be taking the encounter cap position across from Hated Fate. RGN making plays towards that C cap. TJ Blue might get it onto the C cap, although he's not going to be able to cap it from there. Edrak might have some... Actually, he is capping it from there. There's like not even half of his tank is on the cap, but he's still capping it. Very interesting spot there. Edrak and Strika won't be able to reset that. Both E100s are going to be sitting near the A cap to punish anything getting onto that cap. Mike putting a big shot into the IS4 of Flawless. Some shots coming in, but not damage. IDRXP, Fantasy, Flawless, Danger, Zero Bite all stacked on this A area, but they won't be able to step onto the cap without Mike punishing them for it. So RGN have an A hold, C hold strategy, and Beta don't have really positions to be able to poke from, or push from. They aren't able to get any shots in either, as you have these IS-4s. Oh, wow! Fantasy just got crossfired from the B encounter area. Mike also putting a shot in, and he goes down a lot of HP. Not even reactive armor would have helped him there, because by the time he figures out that he's getting shot, he's lost almost all of his HP. Very good shots going in there. Beta letting their guard down on that encounter cap, letting the IS-4 sneak up and get those shots in. Danger in the STB, now going to be pressuring Hated Fate and TJF Blue, but it looks like there is a rotation going in from RGN, trying to make up, or trying to push their advantage here. Beta have bled so much HP without even having made a push at this point. Edrak is going to be pushing, gets shot from 2 IS-4s. Oh no, a Vickers and an IS-4 on that other side. They're going to be pushing onto Hated Fate and TJF Blue, but at this point they don't have the HP for it. TJ looking for the kill, able to get it off. STB of Danger able to provide some support there. But on the other side, Zero Byte takes a lot of damage. I believe Zeta put an HE shell, or he got double tapped. IDRXP still hanging on to his life. Mike actually goes down in the E100, but at this point camps are ticking up way too far for Beta to do anything about it, especially with the HP that they have. They're not going to be winning this most likely. And RGN picked this game up on caps, but even then the HPs were way far in their favor. Beta not able to make any plays onto the A cap as they had hoped to do so with the strategy and the lineup they had. Nonetheless, picking up a game against RGN is still a very good feat. And I'd say Beta were giving them a hard time. Like, they weren't pushovers for sure. They picked up a game, in fact. And they took game 1 decently close, so hats off to Beta. RGN able to pick up the win there. I'm going to check the chart for the final stage. I believe these are the teams that are going to be moving on here. We have, yes, Shiro 2-0 Hated Interstellar going to be facing off against GMA Woo. Voids enter Speed Team 2-0 Purple Enigma. They're going to be facing off against Moon Monkeys. Pincer 2-0 straight, going to be moving on to play against Ishtar 6 out of 10. And the games that just ended now, RGN moved on, going to be going against GP Vieja School. So old school there. And those matches are going to be played in, let's see, just a random team here, 7:31, which would be 9:31 Eastern. And that gives us about 13 minutes until the next games. Somebody told me that my stream kept like spazzing out or something, having a stroke was the word. Not sure. It looks fine to me, but I don't know. Maybe it is. Comment again, or comment if you're having issues with the stream. Kind of describe a little bit what's going on, and I'll try to figure it out if there is any issues. So I'm gonna be playing a few games just to kill some time, and I'll try a realistic. I don't really play a realistic, but we'll see how it goes. Yamato Harbor. Not a big fan of the map, just because the sea area tends to be very stalemate, and pushing through town is not always a viable strategy. I see the Foch over there. I see a mouse as well, and an E100. Look, no, that's a 4005. I forgot this is realistic, so spotting isn't coming into play. You can try to do some like... Oh wow, that mouse and the E100 are both sitting there. Bosch is sitting there as well. Poke out a little bit, see if they notice me. I was trying to get a track shot on him, but wasn't able to do so. Check my back every once in a while. Even though you can see tanks without them being like quote unquote spotted, if there aren't any tanks that have line of sight, they also won't be. You won't be able to see them. Sheridan didn't notice I was here. I bounced off his turret. I mean, I kind of saw that coming. And Sheridan gets all sorts of weird bounces. I saw another Sheridan on that like sea area. Mouse over here. He's not gonna notice me. Oh right, and there's no hit skins either. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I can pen his side this turret with AP. Our mouse actually died. This is sad. Our Foch died as well. There's a Sheridan right there. Someone's on the sea cap. I can't see them though. Mouse looks like he's gonna be moving up. He's checking to see if he can see me though. I'm not sure if he sees me. Don't think he does. I might be able to punish him here. I can just go straight through the upper plate. Well, not if he angled up like that. Sheridan pokes up to get a shot on me. I'm actually getting pushed here. Try to get a bounce on him. Probably wasn't gonna work. Get to his side here. I can't bounce or else I'm dead. I'm not dead, but it's gonna be really bad for me. Oh, the 4005 is just gonna kill me. Everything's pushing me. What is this? Okay. One 3 might pick up the Sheridan. Nope, puts a huge shell into him. Oh, I also forgot there's no roll RNG. 4202 fluffing a shot on him. Will he be able to get the kill here? Able to do so. Now just a 183 and a 4202 versus an E100. 4005, a Foch. And a 113. We have a little bit more time until the next game. Might be able to get some shots across, but it's also risky because if they see me, I'm also gonna get shot. So I'll just hide by like these buildings in front of me here. See if I can do so. There's a T-30. Oh wow, our grill got donked there. So they've got stuff back there. I can't see them though. He might be sitting on the other side. Something is definitely over there. See something there. That's a T-30, I think. Yeah. Our team is just getting absolutely hammered from that. From their spawn. The enemy team knows what they're doing. M60. Yeah, stop. No, why are you backing up? Stop. Oh, a T-30. Hello. M60 is right there. Don't know if this game is winnable. Well, we'll pretend it is for now. That guy's getting pushed on. Try to pick up this M60, but I don't know where he is now. There he is. And just me and a one-shot Sheridan. I don't think this is winnable now. But again, we'll keep trying. Go for a quick. And again, if there's no line of sight, oh wow, that guy snuck up on me. And the 215B's right there too. How much is he on? Okay, I thought I was aiming at his drive wheel, guess not. One high B is having trouble aiming, it seems. Oh no. 268. Oh no. He's full. I don't know how that didn't do damage, but okay. Well then. That second one hit the upper plate. I don't know how the first one didn't do damage though. It's whatever though. Okay. Next match is going to be GMA versus Shiro. I have no idea why it's different path towards the finals, but it is what it is. And we're going to be commenting this map either way. So here it is, GMA versus Shiro. We have a mouse 50B triple IS4s ready up so far. Shiro has 3 IS4s, a mouse, an E100, a T22, and a 140. GMA is actually going to be taking 3 IS4s, a Vickers, 2 50Bs, and a mouse. Double 50Bs, the map is going to be Port Bay. Interested to see what they do with the 50Bs. Not really a tank you see very often on Port Bay, at least not on NA. Sorry, I'm just collecting my thoughts. Yeah, 50B is not a tank you see very often on on Port Bay, that is. we have a 140 paired with a T-22. 140, I do believe, has a better gun than the T-22. A T-22, obviously, if you've seen them in public battles, has better armor, very troll armor, and that's why they are used in comp, just to get those clutch bounces and put out DPM, because there still are Russian mediums with the DPM. So Shiro going to be playing more towards the C side with the double mediums, I believe. The mouse and the E100 able to either push towards C aggressively or get cap resets on B, which is going to be crucial to either team strategy, getting those resets on B. At least a lot of the time. If you're going for something like more aggressive, that's not something that happens a lot on port B, but I would be very interested to see. So GMA going to be taking 250Bs. Again, the Vickers going to be getting some spots. I don't think they're going to be playing towards the C cap. The 50B's profile just isn't that easy to work with on that side, but if they do something aggressive, they might be able to use them in like a push on to the C, like close to the C cap. But I would expect them to make a play more towards the A side or the town side. But 50Bs, when using a pair, have a specific use in the strategy. So the strat makers at GMA most likely have something that they want to clear out of a position with those 50Bs. So they might go for an aggressive cap on B and use the 50Bs to punish anything trying to reset from like typical reset positions. They might do something like that. Also something on A, doing something similar like punishing any tank destroyers that might be sitting overwatching A cap. On the C side, maybe if they do play a C oriented strat, they're using the 50Bs to clip anything crossing, although the interval, like the amount of time that they get shots into something crossing, I don't think it'll allow them to get a second shot in unless someone gets a track. But that's kind of RNG at that point. So we have the 50Bs actually going to be going towards the C side, so it might be something like I just described, trying to get some shots onto anything crossing, punishing any mediums going that way. And it looks like actually Shiro isn't going to be making their way towards C like I expected. Instead, they're going to be playing more towards A. Object 8 is a little bit isolated. The 50Bs are going to be rotating out. Canadian Impact in the back, now acting like a tank destroyer, might actually have resets on B from where he is. And we're going to see now TMA resetting the B area. Shiro is getting onto the A cap, nothing really to reset. Object 8 might be able to get a shot in, but he's going to have to overextend a little bit, looking for an HE shell just to reset, not able to do so quick enough. Shiro getting the cap off. 50B actually spotted way far back. I'm not sure who spotted him. Like, I really didn't expect that to happen. TMA now going to be solo resetting. Actually, no. The mouse of Megami now just pushing straight up, takes a shot, but he's going to be eating a lot of focus fire right there. Just holding that angle. Object 8 getting pushed on, trying to survive as long as he can. Triple IS, or double IS-4s, and a T-22 going to be working him over. Megami now bleeding a lot, getting shot in the side by Arctic. Mike getting a lot of hits as well in that E100. Megami now again eating the focus. GMA focusing the mouse out, not something you want to do, but if he's right there isolated, you might as well at that point. Mouse going down, rotating in a circle here. TMA going to be the next focus, I believe. The IS-4s are going to be going for him. 3 IS-4s. The E100 of Mike is going to go down most likely. Puts a shot in, not connecting, not penetrating. The 50B is now focused out by the T22 and the 140. They're most likely going to go down. They're on a clip reload. Not that these mediums know that, but they're kind of making it obvious at this point by running. They have to run though. Canadian Impact now a one-shot while TMA is still alive. That's a little bit concerning because he should have been dead a good while ago. Apple Juice now looks like he's lagged out or something, or was tracked. Finally goes down. But Apple Juice Hero goes down as well. This game is very close. Teams just keep trading their tanks away. 50B now blocking the T22, but getting shot for it. Whitetails coming in. Will the T22 be cleared before he picks up the 50B? I don't think so. 50B goes down. T22 now trying to get away. Whitetails is going to be able to chase him down, though. Arctic with the kill shot. GMA have 3 tanks on 3. The 140 doing a good job of staying out of the focus. Arctic pushing for him just to keep the DPM out of the game. Mouse gets a shot into him. Arctic not able to pen his shot. Whitetails now coming in. Devil's Daisy needs to focus on Whitetails, but he's a little bit tunneled on Arctic as it is. Gets tracked. Whitetails should have had the kill shot, but does not pick him up. Missing the shot. Arctic and Whitetails will have him though. Caps are in favor of Shiro. A close game. Whitetails can retreat to the C cap, but it's not going to do him any good. GMA top 4 calling it out correctly. They have to focus on the caps now. Whitetails leaving Arctic alone though. Definitely not something he wanted to do, but if he can get some shots in, it might be alright. Spooky taking a hit in his IS-4. Arctic now being focused out, but it is an IS-4, a full health IS-4 basically. 1800, going to be focusing on Arctic with Spooky. Whitetails putting his DPM into the game, moving around very quick, and getting onto the B cap. He's playing this very well here. Might get shot for it though. He has to evacuate the cap. Arctic now getting shot as well, but he got them to turn Spooky. Now on 421 HP. This is very clutch right here. Whitetails moving very carefully around the map. Spooky fires 1800 with the kill shot, double tapped IS-4, and now it's just Whitetails versus Spooky and 1800. Whitetails putting him to a one-shot, but not quick enough. He really needed the kills there. Wasn't able to put his gun as much into the game. He was moving around very well, but not putting out enough damage to support his team. Well, obviously the loss wasn't just there. The 50Bs got caught out of position, I think. Shiro did a very good job of using their mediums to knock them out and focusing the DPM out of the game. So GMA were a little bit spread out there, weren't able to put their tanks where they needed to be quickly enough. Going to be one game in the favor of Shiro. GMA need to pick up a win or else they will be eliminated here. Best of 3, of course. GMA taking quad IS-4s, a Vickers, a Sheridan, and a Mouse. Shiro are going to be taking double mediums again, a 62A instead of a 140 this time. 2 IS-4s, an E100, a Mouse, and an E5. Almost the same lineup, but I believe they swapped an E5 for an IS-4 and a 62A for a 140. The E5 and double mediums, I think they're going to be playing the C side this time. But again, they did surprise me last time and made it work, so who knows. GMA with the Sheridan and the Vickers, even though they do have 2 light tanks, won't be able to contest the C side very well. Just because Shiro outnumbers them in mobility again. It outnumbers them in mobile tanks, that is. No, like you could actually outnumber someone in mobility, but... And we're off. Second game on Port Bay. Last game was pretty close. We'll see if this game is just as good. So we have 2 light tanks for GMA going towards that seaside. Sheridan going to be going up aggressively onto this side, putting a shot into any mediums crossing. Bounces a shot on the T-22, backing up before he could fire. Devil's Daisy now getting onto the C-cap. The Sheridan might be able to have some resets. GMA left their light tanks alone though. Will they get punished for it? The Sheridan putting a missile shot into Spooky, bouncing off the tracks. Mediums evacuated very quickly. Canadian impact spotted in the back. A lot of GMA tanks actually spotted. We have both teams kind of playing opposite sides again. Nobody's going to have resets on A. Megami in that mouse having resets on B. Poking unnecessarily, getting bleeding a shot of damage for it. Not angling well enough. Gets penned in the side. Good shot from GMA top 4 in that other mouse. He now has poke on the reload and gets another good shot onto him. Megami is just getting absolutely cut apart here. TMA with this flank. GMA top 4 not actually going to be able to go into the B cap if they do decide to. Not going to be doing it just yet because they have cap advantage anyways, so they don't need to make any moves. And they have free bleeds on this mouse. Megami is getting punished, and there's nothing that Shiro is doing anything, like Shiro's not doing anything about it for now. GMA top 1 gets shot by the E100 there for free. And now they're going to be... What? GMA actually pushed up on the C-cap without capping it, catching it. Shiro off guard. Shiro are making a big rotation over to the A side. And Mike and this mouse are left to die basically against 2 IS-4s. GMA top 4 now going to be pushing towards Megami. Megami is most likely going to go down in the next shot. GMA bouncing the first shot on him. The mediums of Shiro are trying to get their guns into the game, but they're way ahead of the heavy tanks, and Shiro just lost 2 tanks for free. Basically, TMA is going to get focused out here. Devil's Daisy tracking him. Will he go down? He definitely will. Goes down to the E5, but not before Girl Pills is getting absolutely hammered. The T-22 getting focused out. You want to focus out the mobility and the DPM. GMA doing a good job of it. Arctic getting focused out as well, but at this point GMA just have way too many HP, or way too much HP ahead of Shiro, and Shiro's rotation onto that A side was just not quick enough. Bled a mouse and an E100 for it without being able to do anything in return, so that's basically how that game played out. Shiro bled way too much without being able to punish. GMA doing very well on that bleed game. Whitetails working with Canadian Impact to knock Devil's Daisy out. Devil's Daisy now going to get double tapped. Whitetails is burning out, but it really doesn't matter. Spooky now 1 IS-4 versus the Sheridan, a mouse and an IS-4 goes down. 5 tanks still on the board for GMA and a healthy amount of HP to their favor. Also had the caps. So it's a tie, 1-1. Just not as close of a game as last time though. But let's see. Having conflicting comments saying the stream is fine or not fine, so yeah, I'm not really sure what I can do about that. Like, some people are saying it's fine, other people are saying it's laggy. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, Castilla is going to be the tiebreaker map. GMA going to have the south spawn. Shiro have north. Both teams have readied up our lineups very quickly. 5 IS4s for GMA and double lights again. Vickers and Sheridan, a good pair there. Have the Alpha and the DPM with the Vickers. And as of course, being light tanks, they have mobility, camo, and spotting. We have for Shiro 2 E5s, 2 268s, an IS4 and E100, and a Vickers light. Dangerously low on HP, I'd say. 2 268s might be able to put out the damage on Castilla because of the positions they have, but who knows? Tank Destroyer is just not a common pick in this meta with the HP that heavy tanks have, but we'll see if they can make the angles work for them. With that amount of alpha that Shiro has, GMA would be a little bit risky to play onto that C cap, but who knows, the Vickers light of Whitetails is going to be making some aggressive plays toward that C side. It looks like might be looking for some spots on the Tank Destroyer, actually just going to be getting up onto this hill to get spots towards that C side. Not going to be finding very much though. Devil's Daisy in the Vickers light making a play towards that B cap. If you see here, he took a route that makes him go around the B cap, won't get spotted from anything over here, might not even be spotted if he gets on the cap at all. Not even Whitetails would get a spot on him because the building blocks. Canadian Impact going to be getting into a spot that would spot him, but at this point Devil's Daisy is just going to be pulling out. Had the chance to cap maybe, but who knows. TMA now spotted in the back. 1800 spotted as well. I believe Apple Juice might have been spotted, but I didn't pay attention to that. Maybe not. TMA spotted in a position where he could reset from very good shots, and that's what the 268 is there for. Mike putting a shot into TMA. TMA is now in a very tough position. He needs to back out of there before he gets hit again by the 268. TMA most likely won't be able to reset A cap, but they also have an IS4 and GMA top 1 in the Sheridan to reset A, so Shiro probably won't be able to make any plays onto that A cap. Whitetails taking a shot of damage in his Vickers. Megami in the E100 manning B resets, and this is going to be a little bit of a stalemate for a while. Arctic in the far back on C, just playing standby for now. Devil's Daisy now in a position here where he can spot most of the C cap, I believe, unless Whitetails makes a play towards the far bush in an effort to not get spotted there. GMA top 1 in the Sheridan, looking to put some missile shots, I believe, into these tanks here. Spooky putting in a shot towards Object 8. Object 8 was not spotted, neither was Spooky, so there's a blind fire there. TMA in the position to reset this close side of A. The IS4 and GMA top 1 able to reset the far side, so GMA have very good resets on that A cap. Only have one reset on B, but that's pretty much all you need for that cap. Unless something gets on the far side here, but then you could have the Sheridan rotate and reset that. Whitetails in the Vickers light, just trying to get some spots off, but like as it is in pubs as well, you really aren't going to get any spots here. Like all the way across. Affirmative going to the chat. It looks like Whitetails and Arctic making their way towards the C side. GMA making the observation that most of Shiro tanks are focused on that AB area. Mike and Girl Pills in the 268, both having shots on A potentially. And Girl Pills actually going to be shooting towards the C side. Devil's Daisy is going to be spotted here. Might get some good spots here. Whitetails might get a shot by the 268, but he backs out just in time. Devil's Daisy now spotted. Whitetails spotted as well, but it might be a bad thing that he got spotted there for Shiro because they might think he's isolated. Object 8 now spotted in the back. IS4 spotted. And Shiro need to make a rotation very quickly because GMA is stacking to make a push. GMA top 4 is actually in the IS4, solo IS4 on that side here. So if Shiro decides to push on him, they're going to be in trouble. Or GMA is just going to lose him for free. Puts a shot in to reset Spooky, not penetrating though. Shiro are going to get the A cap, and a huge push is going to be coming in on this side. Girl Pills has the shots on Arctic, might be able to connect here. TMA now spotted on the cap. Could get nailed, but they're just going to push straight across. I believe that was an HE shell, or actually, Girl Pills might not have even connected there. Devil's Daisy spotted in the back, gonna be running away. But Shiro now has the cap advantage. Oh, but Megami needs to get resets on B before he gets the cap. Megami needs to turn, but he's not paying attention. Really needs to reset that. Able to do so with an HE shell. And now Canadian Impact is going to be reset in the side. Mike, actually the 268, firing an HE shell into him as well. Canadian Impact trying to get that beat cap. Megami trying to get a reset here. Able to do so again. But they're going to be pushing, GMA is going to be pushing around for Object 8. GMA top 4, as I said earlier, isolated, goes down for free, but he was a good waste of time. Canadian Impact actually gets reset again by an IS4, pushing around. Time is being called in the chat. Shiro can win this game on caps, just because they have a lead. Now Canadian Impact most likely going to go down there. Yes, goes down. Megami finally goes down to Arctic though, but caps are still in favor of Shiro. GMA need to make a play again very quickly, need to get kills. Whitetails gets absolutely nuked on that hill area. I believe the 268 put a good shot in. Actually, it wasn't. Or maybe it was. I believe it was Girl Pills, but either way, TMA is now one shot. Could go down to Devil's Daisy. Sheridan is doing a good job of blocking him. Girl Pills is going to have the kill though. Shiro even further up on cap, and at this point GMA is way too spread out, won't be able to do anything about it. The time is ticking down, 50 seconds left on the clock. They need to get kills very quick, but GMA top 1 is very alone and gets absolutely triple tapped by these tanks here. Arctic now alone. Shiro are going to win this game, I think. There's just nothing GMA can do at this point. 268 doing a good job of putting the shots in towards C. The Alpha really helped Shiro in that case. GMA making a push on that C side wasn't able to work out in the favor. Girlpo is now going to be chasing Whitetails down. Has a shot here, able to pick him up, and that's basically game at this point. 10 seconds left. I don't think Object 8 can clutch this game, even with 2 caps to his name. Object 8 now facing off against Spooky here, but time runs out and Shiro win that game on caps. So 268s didn't do as much as I thought they might have, but again, the Alpha was able to swing that push into Shiro's favor. GMA were just pushing into nothing though. They couldn't even get the C cap, and they weren't pushing for any kills. They just bled for nothing basically, and they lost an IS4 on the A cap for nothing as well. So just not the best push for GMA. They needed to make a push for sure, but weren't able to come up with a win there. They pushed for nothing. They lost HP for 8, and they went down on positions as well. They went for the B cap, but he wasn't supported by pretty much anything. The E100 Megami, who was resetting B, might have gotten nuked by GMA if they had pushed to the right positions, but that just didn't happen either. So I guess in a perfect scenario, GMA pushes across, knocks out the E100 resetting B as quick as they can. They take B and C with the Vickers maybe, and they'd have 2 caps and some kills. They lose an IS4 on the A cap, but at least it's not as bad as what happened there. It's probably not the best play for them, but when pressure is against you in these tournament games, it's not very easy for the caller to make the perfect call. And especially for the players, like even if the caller does say it, it's very difficult for the players to execute um, exactly what the caller wants. So GMA weren't able to come out victorious in that game, lose 2-1 to Shiro. Shiro picking up the wins and moving on to the next stage of the tournament. We're going to check the bracket here. Final stage, group stage here. Void going to be facing off against Shiro. They 2-0'd Moon Monkeys. Ishtar going to be facing off against Rain, I believe. They, after 2-0ing Pincer, that's an upset there. Pincer, number 2 seed tournament currently, or number 2 seed team currently. Shiro able to knock them out before the semifinals. So it's going to be RGN versus that Ishtar team, and Void versus Shiro. And I believe I'm going to be watching the Void versus Shiro game 8 minutes into the next game, so I won't go into any games to kill time. In the meanwhile, be able to check the tournament, or the Hall of Fame. The Spring Season Hall of Fame. So for the top echelon, which is going to be the top 8 teams. Oh, Ishtar is actually a top 4 right now. So Ishtar is 4th currently. So it's not that huge of an upset, but well, that's very good news for them. They might be able to take even further now. Might be able to surpass Void depending on their results against RGN. And if they win against Void, actually no, I don't think they'll get enough cups. But either way, they're climbing the leaderboards very healthily. Rain is number 1 by a margin of about 120 cups, 140 cups above Pincer. Pincer's number 2. Void is number 3. Ishtar's number 4. Hated, GMA, Shiro, and MM manning 5th to 8th places respectively, or in that order. Yeah, so if we check the rewards for this tournament here, the number of cups you get for, let's assume they take, I guess worst possible outcome for Ishtar today is that they get 967 cups as it is now. Pincer though gets 677. Ishtar will definitely not be passing Pincer. I don't think there's going to be that much movement unless, hold on, let's see. If RGN gets knocked out, so Void might be able to take first place depending on what happens between RGN and Ishtar, and what happens between, what happens between RGN and Ishtar, and what happens between Void and Shiro. Well, Void are... Actually, no, Void are way too far behind in cups to take first place, even if RGN takes 4th and Void takes 1st. But Void might be able to move up to 2nd, depending... Actually, Yeah, I don't think they won't be able to take second either. But yeah, I don't see a lot of movement happening for the top four. But either way, or in any case, it doesn't matter because even if you make like the whole point of these ascent tournaments is to get top 8, and those teams are pretty much locked in at this point. For the lower half though, Moonman got knocked out decently early, I think. Actually, Moonman made it to the quarterfinals. GP made it to the quarterfinals as well. GP though is in I'm just checking to see if there's any movement here. GP is in 10th position right now. They are at 19,644 cups. And the 8th cutoff right now is 20,299. So both MM, which is the cutoff, and GP made it to the same position. So neither of those teams are going to be making it. Or, well, GP isn't going to be making it into top 8 in this week's tournament. Straight as well got knocked out even earlier than MM did. They faced off against Pincer in the first round, so that was a tough luck for them. So yeah, there isn't going to be really movement in this lower half here. Beta also got knocked out early, and they were a little bit below GP in terms of cups. Top 8 for this week is going to stay pretty much the same, no movement. And just to read it off again, it's going to be Rain, Pincer, Void, Ishtar, Hated, GMA, Shiro, and MM. No, ready up. So then I actually watched the game. Naval Frontier again, Void and Shiro going to be facing off in the semifinals for today's group stage, week 4. No, it's just week 2. Week 2, tournament 4. Again, Naval Frontier 3-cap map. Believe we've seen it before. Maybe not in one of my streams though. But either way, B cap is in the middle, it's in a low ground compared to A and kind of like the C area. And there's a light cliffs surrounding it, so I mean, you probably have played it before if you're watching these streams. So B is a little bit difficult to take just because of the topography of that area. And kind of like the angles that teams could have to reset. But taking it can mean good things, because it means that the enemy team is probably going to have to make a play if you have either A or C. But in any case, just going to read off the lineups. You can see here, Pramo, I don't know why I keep making that mistake. It's the Pramo. Okay. Void is going to be having 4 IS-4s, a VK7201, 268, and an E100. So 3 tanks with 640 alpha and a healthy amount of armor and HP. Shiro are going to have 3 IS-4s, an E3, a Sheridan, an E5, and a 140. So E3, not a highly mobile tank except for when it has the ultra speed boost activated, but very good frontal armor and a very strong 640 alpha gun. But most likely they're going to be using it to really reinforce a position, maybe on the A side. Could play something weird on the C side, like up high, but I wouldn't really expect that. Chip saying what a save in the chat. These are all Rocket League references, but We have here even Steven and Sierra going to be moving towards the VCAP. Sierra, I believe, was Ghost Ranger before. Even Steven going to be manning the classic B reset spot that an IS4 has been taking from this team almost religiously every game. They have an IS4 resetting this side of the VCAP. Apple Juice Hero getting shot by Rob. Rob might take some hits from those tanks up there, but probably won't be able or won't be getting shot just now. Apple Juice Hero, what a shot from Girl Pills. Getting a reset shot into Tanner, gets them to back off the cap, and now Shiro are going to have resets onto the C cap. A lot of tanks from Void trying to take C. Tan too strong, able to have shots on Apple Juice Hero, so Apple Juice can't reset C, but we have a Sheridan able to put some missile shots into these tanks capping here. So also an IS4 in a really interesting position there. Mike, let's just see the angle that he's at here. Able to be hold down and have resets on that far side of C. So Void aren't going to be able to take that C cap. Chipotle's life in the VK in the far back. Void is actually, oh no, Shiro is now on the A cap, but I believe Steven is going to have a reset. Devil's Daisy not paying attention, gets shot from him. This is going to be a 1 versus 1, but a 140 versus an IS4. Even though the 140 has a mobility and the DPM, is going to be a tough fight for him just because of the IS4's armor and HP. Girl Pills getting another shot into Ghost Ranger there. Missiles going absolutely ham. Has this little artillery place here. Even Steven taking the A cap in his IS4. Gonna be forcing Shiro's hand. Shiro getting some good bleeds on these IS4s. Rob able to hold this angle. Chip as well with the big 640 alpha guns. Tan getting shot from, I believe, the E3. E3's in a decent position there. Apple Juice Hero bled out as well. Ghost Rangers down to 1300. We have Devil's Daisy very low as well. Chip taking a big hit from the E3 again. The E3 in a good position here to get shots up there and maybe onto Tanner if he backs up too far. Tan too strong, trying to bleed out Apple Juice Hero. Good HE shell from Chipotle's life, putting him down to 1100 HP. Makes him a 3-tap just about for IS4s with AP. Rob is going to be making a play onto Spooky. Tanner bouncing a shot onto him. Rob getting a shot into him as well. Spooky getting pushed on. Void getting, Chip getting pushed on in the back there. Void are going to be pushing down low though. Even Steven now going to be bullying the E3 out of position here. Megami needs to make a decision here. Going to be face hugging even Steven, but it gets tracked right before he's able to do so. Now down to 1 HP, or 1 shot of HP. Sierra going to be looking for some shots on the other side. Shiro now bleeding a lot. Ghost Ranger picking up the kill on Megami. Devil's Daisy getting shot up top. Devil's Daisy now needs to stay down. Tan going down. Mike is going to take a shot from Tanner, I believe. Needs to turn. Won't be getting shot today. Mike turns his turret and gets penned in the side. I'm not sure why he turned his turret. The Sheridan now going to be pushed out of position. Actually, just not yet. Even Steven is pushing a little bit far up to try to move him. Another push here coming. Tanner bleeding some more HP. Devil's Daisy in a good position. Apple Juice might be able to pick up the kill. Low rolling with heat. Mike looking for the kill shot. Ghost Ranger blocking him. 1800 with the kill. Now Girl Pills is going to be moving in. Shoots the 268 instead of Ghost Ranger. I'm not sure why he did that. The focus should have been this low health IS4, but they're going to be looking to knock out DPM, I guess. The focus is just split at this point. Devil's Daisy trying to get some shots in. Girl Pills taking a lot of hits on that Sheridan. Void needs to push almost everywhere though at this point. Sierra looks like he lagged out. He's just backing up. Girl Pills with a missile into... shoot, I forgot who that was. I believe it. Yeah, it was Tanner. Now it's just one-shot Rob versus Girl Pills. Girl Pills looking for the kill shot. Even Steven picking up Devil's Daisy, and Void has both A and C caps, so Girl Pills needs to get needs to cut those caps down, but even Steven has very good control over the C cap. Won't be able to, or will not be giving up that cap, basically. Girl Pills looking to make a move on even Steven. This is going to be a really tough game for him. I don't think he'll be able to do so because Sheridan just doesn't have enough DPM. Even Steven with the kill shot. Very close game. Shiro almost picking that game up. Shiro had some really wild shots there from the Sheridan. Sheridan just farming damage with those missiles. So Void made a very convincing push towards that C side very early, but weren't able to take it. Actually got forced off of the cap by Girl Pill's artillery shots, as well as can't remember who it was. I believe it was Mike getting the HE shells to reset from the far side in the IS-4. The Void is going to be taking, I believe, the same lineup. We have 4 IS-4s, an E100, a VK-72, and a 268. Shiro are going to have a Vickers, a Sheridan, an E5, and 3 IS-4s, and an E3 maybe. I believe Megami's changing tanks though. Could be. It could be the same lineups from both teams again. Oh no, the Vickers has replaced a 140 and the IS-4 has replaced an E3. So we have 4 IS-4s, a Sheridan, an E5, and a Vickers light for the Shiro team. Actually going to be swapping out again 3 IS-4s, 2 E5s, a Sheridan, and a Vickers. So Void going to be taking the same lineup, might be playing the same way again. I would expect Void to have resets on B with an IS-4 again. I don't know if they'll be playing the C side again though. In any case, Game 2 of Void versus Shiro going down right now. Chip saying that was close in the chat. Devil's Daisy with the correct call out there, close one. Enzyme going to be spotted very early on by the Vickers, most likely. Enzyme just gonna have passive resets on that area. Devil's Daisy going for a quick cap on the B side, but again, even Steven manning the resets there. Void always does this. I would not suggest any team would try to cap B early on from that side. And Devil's Daisy getting absolutely hammered for it by Tanner and Rob. Now gonna be trapped there. Apple Juice Hero. Enzyme is gonna be pushing up close to the cap. Chip in the VK, bleeding 2 shells. Nothing's going to be resetting Enzyme unless they have the Sheridan again. Able to get a missile shot. Not penning this time though. Enzyme is going to get the cap. Girl Pills trying to get a Hail Mary reset with the missile. Spooky getting shot by Ghost Ranger. Ghost Ranger is on 8. Even Steven going to be pushing to try to pick up Devil's Daisy here. Devil's Daisy trying to hide as best he can. Goes down to a high roll from even Steven. Nothing going to be able to push down onto him either. And Shiro are going to have their hands forced. They need to make a play. Pushing across towards Chip. But I don't think that is the best play here. 1800 pushing alone. I'm not sure what's going on there. Tan now getting pushed on. 1800 needs to stay clear of those 2 guns there. Can afford to get shot by just Chip, but he's getting shot by just everyone at this point. Tantan's bleeding a lot. Shiro's just bleeding way too much in this push. I don't think this push is going to end up well for them. Void just have the positioning here, and Tantan hasn't even gone down yet, and he was the first tank that was supposed to go down. There's not a good push for Shiro there. Void forcing their hand with the 2 caps, though. Apple Juice now getting surrounded. Gonna be taking a lot of hits there. And it's just Apple Juice versus Girl Pills. Not a close game this time. Not sure what's going on here. Yeah, that just wasn't a good push for Shiro there. Void just absolutely in the good positions there. Devil's Daisy getting like very shoot, okay. The Vickers who went onto the VCAP, Devil's Daisy got severely punished for getting into that position there. They had their resets completely down, even Steven with the IS-4, and Rob and Tanner in the 268 and the E100, able to donk 2 more 640 shells into Vickers as he pulled out. Yeah, and then after that, Shiro was forced to make a play elsewhere, not on the VCAP. But at that point, they just had a bunch of takes towards C, and they just said, alright, we're just gonna push. That didn't work out for them as they'd hoped. Because Void had very good cross shots from, again, those 2 big guns, the E100 and the 268 on anything that crossed over towards Ship. And Ship was another 640 alpha gun, so that's basically 1800 HP gone if all 3 pen. So Void very easily winning that game on positions, able to even cap C as well, and getting the A cap pretty easily. Shiro just didn't have the positions nailed down to get any resets on A or reliable resets on C. So caps definitely coming into play there. Void winning the series 2-0 against Shiro. RGN versus Ishtar still going on. Games might be going to tiebreaker, or they could be drawn out. Next matches, the finals, will be happening at 10:35 Eastern time. That's going to be almost 20 minutes away. Check this one more time. Doesn't look like there's results just yet, so I guess I'll go back into a realistic game for now. We have Black Goldville in a Sheridan. Is this tank better than AMX 5120? I would hope a tier 10 is better than a tier 9. Is this a realistic game? Okay, I guess it is. Wait, who is there? Who shot me? A Sheridan? Ah, I see. He's over there. Yeah. Oh no. What? He must be in that bush. Right there. Yeah, there he is. Wow. There's a T95V6. Aggie 100 gets shot. There's something right in front of me here. 57. E75 just tanking the shots from him. There's a badger there now too. T95V6 pushing across. He's full health, I believe. Oh, that's not very nice. Wait, there's a motion there. I probably need to get out of here. Motion gets hit by the Yag on my team. Probably get tagged by him. Nope. Oh, badgers. Oh, it's a chieftain. Sheridan's up there. Sheridan goes down to our Yag. We're 2 tanks down, but so is the enemy. Let's see what we can do here. .57. Don't want to get clipped by him. 121's not letting me escape. But the 121 is going to get hit by him instead. Chieftain's coming around the corner. 57 launches his last shot in the clip. Something's on B. Staying on B though, so. Up to 57 with the T95E6. But I don't think I'm going to be able to help him out very much. I need to HE him. He's not a one-shot for AP. I don't think I can HE his side. Where's the Badger? Badger might be on B actually. Oh wow, he's right there. That was dumb of me. Oh, okay. Wait, where did the standard B go? C is not capped, do I? There he is, I see him, right there. An advanced flanking maneuver. He lost track of me, I think. So we've got about 10 minutes until the next game, so but right, we'll see the results for that RG and Ishtar game. It actually hasn't ended yet, so it's most likely a tiebreaker there. That's definitely a tiebreaker. But it actually should be ending very soon. Maybe I'll just wait a little bit before going into a game. Ishtar actually came out, wait. Yeah, Ishtar came out on top. RGN not going to the finals actually. RGN is going to be playing 3rd place against Shiro. It's going to be RGN versus Shiro for 3rd place. And it's going to be Void versus Ishtar. In the grand finals there. Accept these invites. Next matches are going to be taking place in about 10 minutes, so I'll be waiting for that. Winter Malinovka. Leopard says he's going to A. I'll go that way as well. Might actually be able to get shots on things over there just because spotting doesn't matter. But again, I also might be shot from there too. Leopard parked right behind me. Trying to look on the horizon. So I see Foch up there. I think there's something there. Can't see that well. I just noticed something instead. I have fog on, I think all the way. So, makes it hard to say things at a distance. I'd recommend turning fog off if you're going to play realistic. Team is getting pushed on. Waffle took a lot of damage. I think there's something around here. There it is. Probably want to shut down the Vickers. Or this Progetto's looking pretty good for an HE shell. Waffle's now moving up. He is kind of just YOLOing at this point. Staying clear of me. Oh, it's Black Eagle. U100 botches an HE shell on the grill. But you should have him. Get shot from the Vickers over there. One shot. Progetto. Trying to see where the Vickers is. I believe the E100 is facing off against an ST1. E100 bounces off the Vickers somehow. And I miss. .704 is just running around. He does not see the ST1, I think. Now he picks him up. Where's the Vickers? There's also a WZ. I have no idea where he is though. I think I saw him all game. Well, there's the WZ. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Progetto. The Vickers is gonna know where the 704 is now, though. That's the thing. Because he capped the base. There's the Vickers behind. Vickers is probably gonna tear him up just because of his mobility. .704 should just sit on the corner there. There's the Vickers. And he wins with that shot, the track shot right there. Vickers played that well. Invite for the next game should be coming out pretty soon. It's 10:30, so matches are taking place at 10:35. And a bunch of residual invites still. Not sure why that's a thing. Just reading the chat right now. Invite should be out right now. Tankinator says, am I the only one who absolutely loads realistic? Yeah, I don't really like it. Is his Raw Fatness mobile player? Because I can barely average 2.7k in shared on mobile. Yes, he is a mobile player actually. Oh, but that was already answered. So, invite for the room is out now. I'm in the final match going to be played today. Prove your skill plan number 4 finals. We have Void versus Ishtar. Not something that I'm not going to say not something I would have expected, because I believe the competition on North America is actually pretty good at this point. Ishtar pulled off a win against RGN, so hopefully we see some good things from them against Void. Gonna have some tanks readied up now. 2 Vickers, 2 E5s, an IS-4, 268, and an E5 maybe. Rockfield is going to be the final map played, or not the final map. If they go to a tiebreaker, it's going to be the first map in this final matchup, best of 3 again. Ishtar has their lineup ready: 4 IS-4s, a Progetto, a Bad Chat, and an E5. Progetto, not something you see a lot, but Ishtar have been using it in the matches I've seen them play earlier. Ishtar have used a Progetto as well. If you remember the Oasis Palms game, they used a Progetto. We have also, again, 3 IS-4s, 2 E5s, a Bad Chat, with that Progetto. Void still haven't readied up their final tank, but again, lineup. Okay, so it is 3 E5s, an IS-4, a Vicker, and 2 Vickers. So, oh, and a 268. Map is Rockfield, another 3-cat map. Not sure which side each team is going to play. Void doesn't have a lot of E5s or IS-4s though, so I wouldn't expect them to play the A cap. But again, I might be surprised, because that 268, normally teams park a 268 or a tank destroyer in the far side of A, so they might just have the 268, or they might have the E5s playing the A cap. Yeah, who knows? E5s again, very good for pushing into positions early on because of the super speed boost that they have, of course, and with the reactive armor consumable, which cuts down incoming damage by a good portion, makes them very tanky, like deceptively so. Even though they don't get that many bounces, like they still will get bounces because the armor is pretty decent frontally. But even if you're getting penned a lot, let me just check the effect of that consumable, because I don't remember off the top of my head. So the effect of that consumable well, just for this one, uh, 8 kilometers to max forward speed is pretty nuts, with 50% engine power and 10% more traverse. But this one is the one I'm talking about. 20% damage reduced from any shell, except for HE. They don't leave that in the description of it. But minus 20%, anything that pens you is going to be doing 20% less damage. That's pretty huge in a competitive game. Especially like this. Like, take a 400 alpha gun, remove 20% of the damage coming in, that's 80 damage off. You're doing 320 instead of 400. So that's basically cutting off, again, like 80 damage from every shot, even if it pens you, and that's an average roll. Like a lot of people say, rolls are extremely important in competitive. Like if you low roll something, that's a big deal. Well, this makes you roll, like almost min roll every shot, and that's assuming you don't low roll in the first place. So that is a pretty huge deal. Like if you're getting focused out in the E5, which over an IS4 the E5 is going to get focused, it might even take longer to kill the E5 if you pen all the shots versus an IS4 if you pen all the shots with that consumable. So E5s are pretty good, just because of the consumables that they have, as well as having just a decent profile all around and very solid penetration and gun handling. And that's a big reason why the IS4 is used as well. A very solid profile, especially on the turret, and a very good penetration. The gun handling is also not too bad, despite what people might tell you. Ishtar is going to be playing towards the seaside here. A lot of tanks going that way. Tanner has spotted Mako and Raigai. Rob, 3 shots going in, none of them, or only one of them penning. Chip also manages to get a shot into Raigai as he crosses. They all stopped to put a shot in. Raikkonen crossing in the E5, getting shot once. Even Steven playing the opposite position from James Zoy. James a little bit isolated there, but not really. Darktronics now going to be helping him out there to push Raikkonen off of that corner. Mako pushing into the C-cap. Something's going on this other side here. Unique and Eki Shuyu going to be playing against Ghost Ranger. Ghost Ranger poking on Clippers. Probably not the play you want to be doing. I'm not sure why he's doing that. He's very alone, and I don't know why the Clippers aren't pushing for him. Raikkonen goes down on the other side. A big push is going there. Mako getting focused out, and this is just mayhem at this point. Even Steven. Enzyme's going to be the focus, but again, he's popped the consumable. Takes a lot of damage, but he might have been dead without the consumable. James Zoy putting a shot in, doesn't roll high enough, leaves him on 28 HP. Kenny Otsu hater now puts him out of the game. Void are bleeding a lot of HP at this point. Rob is going to be the next focus. Tanner in the Vickers gets focused out by James Zoy and Eksuyu. Rob now going down as well. Vickers getting chased down by Unique here. Ghost Ranger trying to get over the hill, able to do so. Tracks Unique as well. Even Steven, Chip, and Ghost Ranger now the last 3 tanks for Pramo, or for Void, my mistake. Even Steven now getting focused out in the E5. Chip putting a huge shell into Raigai, 800 damage. Steve now getting focused, gets tracked on the hill. Another shot from the Progetto. Progetto putting in some good work here in terms of damage. Chip goes down as well in the back. Ishtar winning that game with an aggressive play on the... an aggressive play onto that C-cap. And at the same time, able to keep Void's light tanks off of A. So Ishtar definitely has their teams figured out at this point, and I believe their observations have led them to the win against RGN. Ishtar, like something, if you've noticed, Pramo are very good at keeping you down on the cap game. They're very good at keeping the caps in their favor. Something that Pramo likes to do when they push for a cap is have an offside light tank going for caps, like the caps on the other side of the map, so that even if you win the brawl on the other side, they'll make you pay for it in terms of like just the brawl, of course, and they'll make you pay for it double because you left the light tanks to get the caps, and now you're down on cap. Assuming the brawl didn't go too bad on the other side. And Ishtar has them figured out for sure because they went for that push on the seaside, but they also had the Progetto and the Bad Chat to make sure that the Vickers didn't get the A cap. So a very good play by Ishtar there. And yeah, they're looking pretty good so far. They're definitely punching above their weight here. They're a 4th place team right now, but they beat the number 1 seed, which is RGN, and they took a game off of Void, the number 3 seed here. So good things coming from Ishtar. Now Tanner is taking a STB. We have Robin the Vickers again. Ishtar taking essentially the same lineup, I believe. 3 IS4s, 2 E5s, a Progetto, and a Bad Chat. Void going to be taking 3 E5s, a Vickers, an STB, and 2 IS4s. This time they're going to be making their way towards the C cap more convincingly. They dropped a 268. So they're going to have more HP in the game. Unique is going to be going for some early spots in his Bad Chat here. Doesn't look like he'll be able to spot much though. They all cross. Rob is spotted. And E5 is spotted as well. Void have actually put Ghost Ranger straight onto the C cap. Tanner is going to be in the STB, being able to keep these tanks down. James Zoy and Darktronics are going to be pushing up anyways. Ghost Ranger moving up. Even Steven putting a shot into James Zoy as he crosses. Rob now going to be pushing as well. Unique in the Bad Chat. Going to be going onto the B cap. The Progetto is spotted in the back. A push going on here. James Zoy takes a huge amount of damage, and this is basically the same as last game. Brawling skills are going to be put to the test. Darktronics now focused out. Rob focused out as well. Tantan. Oh wow, Tantan got absolutely hammered by these 3 heavy tanks here. Tantan bouncing a shot off of Guy. Kenny also hit it, looking for the kill shot, able to do so. Enzyme bullying the Progetto, but Unique is going to be coming in to help him. Unique sitting in front of him for whatever reason. Why is he not going behind him? He's just bouncing shots of his front. It bleeds a lot for that. Yeah, I don't know what that was. Mako now getting drove into a lot of guns there. Guy bouncing a shot off of Rob. Kenny Otsu hater shooting Raikkonen instead of even Steven, who is low. Ghost Ranger goes down. The Progetto goes down. Unique now going to go down most likely to Raik. And we just have Guy in his eyes for it, trying to pick up the kill on Rob. Bouncing off of him though. Ishtar playing a very different game than last game. Not able to pick up the win there. Yeah, another push coming in from Ishtar. A lot of bounce shots here. James Zoy only firing twice. I mean, it's really strange. Anyways, final match, we have Canal. Going to be Supremacy, of course. Canal, interesting map. Just because there are 4 caps instead of, like, most maps I'd say have 3 caps. Double Progettos now instead of a Bad Chat Progetto. A 4005 as well. Kenny Otsu hater going to be taking it. We have E5, a mouse, and double IS4s here. Void are going to be taking 3 E5s, 2 IS4s, a Vickers, and a T22. So, Canal, I believe Void are going to be playing more towards the C side. They have a T22, a Vickers, and a lot of tanks with gun depression, mainly the 3 E5s, I believe, or not the C side, the D side, the medium side on this map, I'd say. Ishtar have a mouse. It's going to be difficult to work him around the map just because of its low mobility and how big the map is. Canal is one of those maps where it can be very difficult to make rotations from the D side, because you'd have to, like, there's a few areas you can cross and only like one, maybe one, you can do so without getting spotted. So we have here final match of the day and final match of this matchup here, best of 3 of course. Rob and Tantan are going to be going into the C-cap very early, and again we have a lot of Void tanks going over to the D side. Ghost Ranger making a very aggressive run there, spotting the Progetto in the back. Nothing going to be resetting either C or D. And Ishtar are pretty much just bunched in their spawn. They're going to need to make a push here. But they only have 2 IS4s and an E5 to do so. Tanner and Ghost Ranger are going to be making very aggressive plays, going to be spotting pretty much the entire Ishtar team. And this is not going to be a good push for Ishtar. James Zoy taking a shot as he crosses. Guy actually crosses without taking a lot of damage. James Zoy takes takes 2 shots of damage, but he won't be able to get focused where he is now. Guy pushing to a very good position here. Might get isolated though later on. We'll have to see how they play it. Unique poking over aggressively, gets shot for it. Not sure why he did that. Mako now getting 1 versus 2 on this side here. Puts a shot into Tantan, but Tantan working together with Rob to keep him trapped there. Ishtar looking to put shots in. Kenny Otsu hater in that 4005 gets spotted and gets shot twice for it. Darktronix now pushing across. Ghost Ranger looks like he might get pinched here. Unique waiting to make a play on him. Can't do so alone though. Gets shot by Rob though. He's sitting out in the open, bleeding unnecessarily. Mako trying to put a shot into Ghost Ranger, it looked like, but Ishtar is just bleeding at this point, making a push with only 2 IS4s onto 3 tanks here. Now the 4005 has moved up, trying to get some clip in, but it just pokes out for nothing. Guy way out in the open. James Zoy now coming across. Very disorganized push for Ishtar here. Tanks going down left and right. This is complete chaos here. Even Steven, a one-shot Guy goes down. Even Steven goes down. James Zoy goes down. Darktronix looking very low. Ishtar just don't have the HP for this at this point. Not a great push for them. Right gets tracked as he fires, trying to get Shiyu, and the Progetto goes down. Now it's just Unique in his bat chat against 5 Pramo tanks. Goes down to Tantan and Rob. .4005, 2 shots fired. Yeah, very disorganized push by Ishtar. To be fair, they were spotted very early, but it looks like they kind of just gave up and threw their tanks away at that point. Not sure why. Just didn't look very good from them. So yeah, that was the final game. The final games of this matchup. Got a lot of fake tournament invites, but we'll see what happened in the match for third place. Shiro versus RGN. RGN wins 2-0 against Shiro. RGN picking up third place, of course. So it goes Void, Ishtar, Shiro, or Void, Ishtar, RGN, and Shiro for top 4 today. Again, nothing really much changes for the clan leaderboards in terms of cups and places. So yeah, I mean, got to see some pretty good games today, and I think my favorite ones for today were the GMA Shiro games. I feel like they were pretty evenly matched, and they had some really close games. So yeah, I think with that, I'll be ending today's stream. Thank you all for watching, and see you next time.